Let's get started with our 1 hour yin practice. So you're going to start in a supine butterfly. So for that, if you want, you can take a blanket and make it kind of into a bolster. Place it at your low back and lie back onto your bolster, your blanket bolster. If not, you can just lie down on the mat simply. Allow your arms to relax. Allow your shoulders to relax. Take the soles of the feet together and allow your knees to fall wide. You can just let gravity do its work, or maybe place blocks underneath each knee, one block underneath each knee for more support. Your choice. Let's all bring one hand to our heart, one hand to our belly. Close your eyes down. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and let it out. One more time, deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and let it out. Now breathing in and out only through your nose. We're going to stay here for around 3 minutes. So tune into yourself, maybe setting a resolution for your practice. And I'll offer up a resolution for you. Maybe it is just to notice all the sensations that arise in your body and that arise in your mind as we hold the poses for a long time. Just notice, observe with no judgment. Staying present with your body throughout the practice. So in Yin Yoga, we hold poses for a long time without any pushing or pulling. So we just allow gravity to do its work and surrender. So this allows the pose to get deeper into your fascia, like your connective tissues, rather than your muscles. A lot of benefits to that, like increased blood circulation, calming the nervous system. Just a wide variety of benefits to Yin Yoga. Use it as a complementary practice to your Yang practice, your Power Yoga practice. We have a minute and a half here, so notice the heaviness of your hips on the mat. Notice the heaviness of your shoulders. Soft breathing, soft belly. And whenever you come out of a yin pose, you'll notice that there is a disinclination to move, and that's perfectly normal, so take it slow. Slowly open your eyes. If you have blocks underneath your knees, take them away and then roll over to one side. Remove the bolster blanket bolster if you have it, and simply lie back on your mat. Extend your legs forward. Take your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, press your palms up as you reach your ankles, squeeze your ankles together and reach your toes out to the front, taking a good morning stretch. Breathing into the front of the body, reach, 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 reach. And then relax. Next pose we'll be going into is called a banana pose. So if you have that heavy object, keep it by your left hip. We'll place it on our left hip. I have a 7-pound dumbbell here, but you can just place like a small weight or a heavy book or something. It's just to make sure our left hip stays down. So you're going to reach your arms up, bring your legs together, feet touching, and grab your left wrist with your right hand. Move both feet all the way over to the right. And plant your right ankle on top of your left ankle. Now leave your hips where they are. They are not moving at all. You're just going to move your arms and your upper body over to the right as well. So you look like a right banana here. If you have that weight, take it now and place it in your left hip crease. Like I said, it's just to make sure that you're not lifting that hip up. If it's not comfortable for you to reach your arms overhead, you can simply bring them by your side or grab opposite elbows. That's an option too. So you're going to stay here for 3 minutes again. This pose stretches the entire side of the body and works the lateral flexion of the spine, the side bending of the spine. We don't do that very often in yoga. We mostly do forward bends and extension, whereas this is kind of like a nice juicy side bending pose, like standing half moon. Close your eyes down, tune inwards, and notice where you feel the stretch. Maybe you even feel it in your IT band. Treat this practice as a really meditative, introspective practice. Be curious about your body. Use the first few breaths to find your comfortable place and stay in it. Don't fidget, don't move. If any anxiety comes up in your mind, just be curious about it and let it go. So the challenge of yin yoga is not the pose itself, not the physical part of it, but the challenge is mental, because we have to hold these poses for such a long time that we start to get anxious sometimes. Soft belly, soft breathing. Be present, observe how you feel. About 30 seconds more. And moving really slowly to come out of the pose. Remove the weighted object if you have it on your left hip and set it by your right side. We'll be going into the other side soon. Slowly come back to the center. Maybe taking a good morning stretch one more time to just come back to the center. And then one more time, So you're going to go over to the other side. So bring your legs together, feet together. Move your top part of the body over to the left. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and move both your legs over to the left as well. Left ankle comes over the right ankle. Go to your edge, your comfortable place. And then if you want, you can take that weighted object and place it on top of your right hip crease this time. I'm going to stay here for 3 more minutes. So breathe into it. Notice where you feel the stretch. Maybe you feel it in the side, entire side body. Maybe you feel it near your hips. Maybe there is some tightness in your armpits. Yin yoga really gets into the joints as well. So they say that it removes the cobwebs from the joints. So it's a great practice overall to complement your regular aerobic workout or yoga or hiking. Notice any thoughts that come up in your mind without any judgment and send them away. Allow yourself to surrender. Where is your mind? Soften your breathing. Soften your belly. And slowly come back to the center. Remove the weighted object. Set it away. We won't be needing it anymore during the class. Come back to the center. And maybe take another good morning stretch by reaching your arms overhead, pointing your toes and squeezing your ankles together. Reach, 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 reach. Then curl into your favorite side. Come up to a seat. Our next pose is a 90-90. So we'll be getting into our hips. So take that blanket. You don't want your knees to be on a hard surface, so you can adjust the blanket later, but I'm going to just place the blanket in front of my mat, spread it out like this, and take your feet a little bit wider than your hips, maybe a lot wider than your hips. Your toes are pointing to the 2 corners of the room. You're going to allow both knees to fall to the right. So now you have a 90-degree angle with your right leg and a 90-degree angle with your left leg. So from here, we are just going to fold over our right shin. Maybe elbows come down on the mat and just allow yourself to relax, maybe planting a block underneath your forehead. If you want to intensify the stretch, if this is pretty comfortable for you, you can intensify it by moving towards your right foot and folding down, or make it easier by folding over your right knee. So take the first few breaths to find your comfortable place. Make sure you have that 90-degree angle, hip to knee, knee to ankle. Same here, hip to knee, knee to ankle. And then we are going to stay here for 3 minutes. No need to flex your feet here. Like in regular yoga, I ask you guys to flex your feet and point those toes to your face. None of that here. You're just going to relax your foot, your ankle, and then just relax your shoulders. Maybe planting a block underneath your forehead, or maybe coming all the way onto the mat. Notice where you feel the stretch. This is like a variation of pigeon pose to get into your external hip rotators. And personally, I find this a lot juicier than regular pigeon. So find your edge, stay there, and breathe. All this quietness in yin yoga is the challenging part. We are used to moving constantly, especially us type A's in the Bay Area. It's hard for us to relax and surrender, but that's exactly what I'm asking you to do now, is to surrender your hips down to the mat. Surrender your entire body down to the mat. Surrender your mind to whatever feelings that's going through your head right now, and just observe. Notice if you're clenching your hips in any way. I tend to do that a lot. If you are, then release, let go. There's no right or wrong alignment in yin yoga. Basically, go to a place where you feel a really good stretch and just hold there. Pain is not okay, but comfortable discomfort is okay. So any pain or tingling, just back away and position yourself differently. Slowly come up. Notice any disinclination to move. Plant your hands behind you and maybe windshield wiper your legs from side to side a couple of times before we move on to the other side. Coming back to where we started, with our feet wider than our hips, pointing to the two corners of the room. We're going to drop both knees to the left this time. Make sure you have that padding underneath both knees and both ankles. Notice the 90-degree angle in your right leg, 90-degree angle in your left leg, and then go to the same place you went to on the other side, either folding over your shin or your front foot for a deeper stretch, or your front knee to make it easier. So choose the option that you chose last time, and then simply surrender. Find the place of comfort and surrender. Again, this is a variation of pigeon, like I mentioned. So next time we do this, maybe we can do pigeon, and you can see which one you like better. Notice the weight of your hips one more time. Notice if you're clenching anything. Surrender yourself, let go, close your eyes maybe and turn inwards. Again, the challenge for you today is to simply be here in this quietness, in this stillness, and observe your body and mind without letting it wander, without letting it think about maybe the weekend or dinner today or anything like that. You'll notice that after a few breaths, you can go a little bit deeper into the pose. About a minute more. Again, ask yourself if your hips are clenched in any way, and ask it to let go, release, relax. Soft breathing. Sometimes I feel like I say these things to remind myself rather than you guys. So natural for me to clench my hips or go back to my Ujjayi breath, which is not what we want here in Yin Yoga. Slowly come out of the pose. And then one more time, plant your hands behind you and windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Notice the evenness. If there is evenness, there's always asymmetry in our body, but notice the evenness in both sides now that we have done both sides. And slowly come back to the center of your mat. You can fold up your blanket now and sit on the edge of the blanket for seated forward fold, or just sit on the mat, your choice. And bring your blocks or your books close by so that you can rest your head if you want. For seated forward fold, this is unlike Paschimottanasana. We're not going to pull ourselves down, but just allow our upper body to round into the mat. So separate your feet and keep your toes soft. None of that flexing or, taking the heels out, but just keep them soft. Let your ankles relax down and slowly start folding over your legs. Your palms can face up so that you're not actively engaging your arms, and just let your head dangle here. If this is not comfortable, you can always take a block or two blocks and plant it underneath your forehead and relax. You'll notice that after a couple of minutes, we're going to stay here for 5 minutes. So after a couple of minutes, you'll notice that you'll be able to get really deep, and maybe you can remove one of the blocks and just use one. It's okay to round your spine. No engagement at all in your legs, no engagement in your arms. Palms face up by the side of your legs. And simply breathe, soft belly, soft breathing. Stay present and notice. Initially, the pose will feel like nothing to you, but slowly towards the end of 5 minutes, you might feel something in your back, maybe in your low back. You might feel something in your hips as well, or maybe your legs. Just stay there. Don't miss that opportunity to observe where you feel it. Ask yourself if you can go a little bit deeper. Just letting gravity pull you down here. About 2 minutes to go. Stay present. Don't fidget. Where do you feel the stretch? I feel a deep stretch in the backs of my legs, a little bit in my back as well, low back now. Be curious about yourself. All of us have such different bodies that it's hard for me to pinpoint where you would feel it. And slowly roll yourself up to a seat. Plant your hands by your side and shake out your legs. Make any sort of movements that feel good. We're going to come on to our bellies now. For Sphinx pose, so you don't need any props for Sphinx, but keep the blanket and at least one block close by for our shoulder stretch. So move slowly, coming onto your bellies. Your elbows plant right underneath your shoulders once you're onto your bellies. Elbows are right underneath your shoulders. And usually, I would ask you, with your forearms parallel to each other, to pull your chest through between your forearms. None of that here. You're just going to take your legs wide. Allow your ankles and your legs to relax. Relax your belly down on the mat. Forearms are parallel to each other. Keep the back of the neck soft. And we're just going to stay here for about 5 minutes. And I'll give you an option after 3 minutes to come into seal pose. If you're finding this difficult, or if you feel any pinching or pain in your low back, you can move your arms a little bit forward to rest more on your belly. If not, your elbows are right underneath your shoulders with your forearms parallel to each other. Close your eyes down. Notice the weight of your hips sink down into the mat. Relax your shoulders, don't hunch them up. Relax your back. Soften the back of your neck. Soften your forehead, the space between your eyebrows. Breathe softly and observe how you feel. So different from our regular Sphinx pose. Notice if you are squeezing your shoulders again and relax them down. Notice if you're clenching any muscles in your back and relax it down. About a minute more in Sphinx pose, and then if you find it really juicy and comfortable here, just stay here. If not, we're going to go into seal pose and I'll walk you through it in a bit. So stay in Sphinx pose if this is pretty juicy and comfortable and you just want to get into your low back, just stay there. If you want a nice belly stretch as well, then you'll move your hands to the edges of your mat and lift yourself up a little bit to get into your belly and your low back for the last 2 minutes here. Seal pose. Again, keep the back of the neck soft. No need to hold your head up. Relax your shoulders down. Notice the weight of your hips, the weight of your pelvis on the mat. Like I said, the challenge of yin yoga is just the passive nature of it, and like just staying with our body, staying with all the anxious thoughts that come up, and letting it stew. That's how we grow. About 30 seconds more. And slowly release back down on the mat. Maybe wiggle your hips out to relax your low back. We're going to go into a shoulder stretch. So again, bringing your elbows kind of like a little bit further away from your shoulders, a little bit further to the front of the mat. You're going to slide your left arm underneath your right armpit and plant your right ear and head on the mat. So if this is not comfortable, then you can fold up the blanket and plant it underneath your head. But find that sweet spot where your ear and your head can rest on a blanket or it can rest on the mat. And bring your left arm by your side. If this is a good enough stretch for you on your right shoulder, just stay here. If you want a deeper stretch, you can bring that right knee up to the level of your hip. You're going to stay here for 3 minutes. Find your sweet spot in the first few breaths. Commit to it and stay there. Maybe planting that blanket underneath your head. Maybe not bringing that right knee up and just letting it elongate, stay long near the left leg, your choice. Find that sweet spot. Relax your hips down. Close your eyes. Eventually, your left shoulder will be able to touch your right arm. Hopefully, that's not the goal, but you're going to try and relax your left shoulder so that you can get a good stretch in both shoulders. If you bring your right knee up, maybe you notice a little bit of stretch in your right inner thigh as well. Or your right hip. Notice where you feel it. If you haven't done yin yoga before, this is probably really, really strange. You're like, what do I do with all this silence and holding? But that's why it's called yin yoga, because it complements our regular power yoga, the yang practice. Stay with it, relax everything down. And slowly use your left hand, bring your right leg back, and then use your left hand to press yourself up And release your right arm from underneath your left arm. Stay here, maybe moving a little bit to relax your right shoulder. I'm going to go to the opposite side now. Again, coming to kind of like a Sphinx pose, but with your elbows a little bit further away from you. You're going to thread your left arm underneath your right armpit. Plant your left ear on the mat, left side of the head on the mat. And if this is not comfortable, use a blanket or use a block or something to plant your head on. I'm going to stay here for 3 minutes. So find that sweet spot. Bring your right hand by your side. You can stay here if this is what you want, if this is a stretch that you're looking for. If you want more, you can always bring that left knee up to the level of your hip, just like we did on the other side. So if you did it on one side, do it on the other. If not, don't. So the idea is to relax your right shoulder so that one day it will touch your left arm. Again, that's not the goal, but that's just a cue for you to relax your shoulder so that you're not hunching it up. Again, finding that sweet spot where there's no pain or pinching, but a really good stretch, maybe a comfortable discomfort. Staying there and breathing. Not breathing vigorously, but soft breathing. Most yin yoga poses are done on the floor. A few of them, they come up like standing forward fold and Anjaneyasana, which is actually called dragon pose in yin yoga. They all have different names. So yin yoga, when you really relax your body and get into the connective tissue and breathe in oxygen to your connective tissues, it really improves your circulation, your blood circulation. Because you are not targeting the muscles here, but all the deep connective tissues. So if that's something you're looking for, this is the practice for you. But make sure you complement it with something active like walking or running or something like that. Or maybe a power yoga class. Slowly come back up, bring your left leg back if you have it out. Use your right hand to release your left arm from underneath you. And slowly come up onto your knees. Roll your shoulders out. That was a really intense shoulder stretch there. Roll your shoulders the other way. Notice how you feel, how those shoulders feel now. We're going to come on to our backs. For our supine twist and our final poses. So come onto your backs, bring that blanket with you. We're going to plant it between our knees in our supine twist. So come onto your backs, bring your knees into your chest and drop both knees over to the right. And once they are over to the right, you want to take the blanket and plant it in between your knees. Just kind of just make sure that your spine is neutral. So take your arms out as wings, maybe taking your gaze to the left. I'm going to stay here for 3 minutes in a supine twist. So breathe into it. Breathe into it, into your twist. Any kind of twisting action is great for your spine. That's why you'll notice that we always do twists in yoga classes, whether it's power yoga or gentle yoga or yin yoga. Allow your body to surrender here. Notice if you're clenching anything, even your fingers or your jaw or your forehead. Scan yourself from top to bottom and relax everything down. Where is your mind? Staying with your body now, noticing everything that you feel. Slowly remove the blanket and bring your knees back to center, hugging them back into your chest. Now, give them a tight squeeze, maybe lifting your tailbone up. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, forehead comes to your knees. Inhale back down. And then move both knees over to your left. Again, placing that blanket in between your knees to keep the spine neutral. Take your arms out as wings and gaze to your right. Close your eyes down if you want. Supine twist. Never met a yoga teacher who doesn't do a supine twist in class. That and Shavasana, absolute necessities in a yoga class. Again, noticing the weight of both shoulders on the mat. Noticing the weight of your left hip and your right hip being stacked on top of it. Maybe turning your palms up so that you're not engaging or pulling, but just letting gravity take over. So Bernie Clark, he is one of the senior proponents of Yin Yoga. And he says that in terms of alignment in Yin Yoga, there are no rules. Any teacher who says always is always wrong, and any teacher who says never is never right. So in Yin Yoga, the key is to find your sweet spot, the place where you feel the best stretch, the sweetest discomfort, and just breathe into it. Slowly come back up. Remove the blanket in between your knees. I'm going to come into one of my favorite Yin poses, the supported bridge. So take your book or your block. You're going to plant your feet on the mat, lift your hips up just slightly and place the block any height you want, maybe the shortest height to start with, in the fleshy part of your bum. So just below your tailbone or maybe at your tailbone. From here, you can just take your arms by your side, palms face up and stay there. Adjust the block to a place that's comfortable for you, maybe a little bit higher than, the tailbone. If you want to, you can also extend your legs forward to the corners of the mat. Completely optional. This should feel really good. So this is the pose we'll take before Shavasana. We'll stay here for 3 minutes before taking Shavasana for about a minute or so. So treat this as your Shavasana and start taking a scan of your body. Again, finding that sweet spot for you, place that block where you find it, or book where you find it really, really comfortable and amazing. Supported bridge and supported fish are really amazing restorative poses. Play with the height of your block if you want as well. Maybe you want to go lower or higher. Take your arms wide, palms face up, close your eyes down. Soften your feet. Notice the soft air flowing between your toes. Soften your ankles. Soften your legs down. Notice the weight of your hips on the block. Notice the openness in your chest and the softness of your arms. Soften your palms. Notice the air flowing between your fingers. Soft breeze. Notice the weight of your shoulders on the mat now. The softness of the back of your neck. The weight of your skull on the mat. Allow your eyes to sink deeply into the socket. Allow your forehead to relax, not a single crease in your forehead. Send your attention to the space between your eyebrows and allow them to relax. Soften your jaw. Soften your lips. And just stay here in the final resting pose if you wish. If you want to come into a traditional Shavasana, you can do that now by removing the block. But you might find this really comfortable and juicy for you to just stay here for the rest of the practice. About a minute here, I'm going to allow you to stay with your body in silence. So don't leave the room, just stay with me. Stay with your body and observe. If you're in bridge pose, plant your feet down. Gently press your feet down to lift your hips up, remove the block from underneath you. Slowly coming onto your backs. Bring your knees into your chest and roll over to your favorite side. Use your bottom arm as a pillow and rest here for a few minutes, few seconds before you come up to a tall seat. Take your time, move slowly, no rush. I'm going to end class with a Shavasana, with a Om. But take your time coming up.